Jaya Gaurachande Arati Koshobha Jaya Jaya Gaurachande Arati Koshobha
जय विश्वपाल परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र श्रीमद अभय चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्य लीला पुरुषोत्तम विष्णुपाद स्तोत्र श्रीमद श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। आनंद कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवाचार्य गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवदी मायापुर धाम की जय। गंगा मैया की जय। जमुना मैया की जय। तुलसी देवी की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय। प्रभुपाद बुक मैराथन की जय। पिता गौर ब्रह्मानंदे हरि हरि बोल। Oh glorious to the summer devotees. Oh glorious to the summer devotees. Oh glorious to Sri Guru Sri Gauranga.
Vishal, give some time to get it. Yeah. Or give it class. No. Oh, she give class. Oh, that's good. Oh, good.
not sure. What's your name? Okay. Let me get the karta. No count. 45 minutes. They say.
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman, Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Nitai Jaya Gaura Nitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Shri Shri Radha Gokulanand Ji ki Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki Shri Gaur Nitai ki Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So we are reading from verse 8.20 Bhagavad Gita, and I'll recite the verse. Before reciting the verse, just do the Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanati Mirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapada Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tvise Namo Namo Brahmanya Deva Go Brahmanya Hitaya Cha Jagatditaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya So we are reading from chapter 8 of Bhagavad Gita, text number 20, and I'll recite the verse, and if you can repeat after me. So first I'll recite and you can repeat. Avyaktat, parastasmatu bhavonyo vyakto avyaktat sanatanaha yasha sarveshu bhuteshu nasyatsu na vinashyati parastasmatu bhavonyo avyakto avyaktat sanatanaha yasa sarveshu bhuteshu nasyatsu na vinashyati. Would you like to repeat? Would you like to repeat? Okay, I'll just go word by word. Para, transcendental. Tasmad, to that. To, but. Bhava, nature. Anya, another. Avyaktaha, unmanifest. Avyaktat, to the unmanifest. Sanatanaha, eternal. Yasaha, that which. Sarveshu, all. Bhuteshu, manifestation. Nasyatsu, being annihilated. Na, never. Vinashyati, is annihilated. So I'll read the translation. Yet there is another unmanifest nature which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. So, would you like to repeat after me on the translation? Yet there is another unmanifested nature which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. Is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. Okay, I'll just read purport. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Krishna's superior and spiritual energy is transcendental and eternal. It is beyond all the changes of material nature, which is manifest and annihilated during the days and nights of Brahma. Krishna's superior energy is completely opposite in quality to the material nature. Superior and inferior nature are explained in the 7th chapter. Okay. Just to Om Jnana again. Om ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः. So yeah, this is 8:20, and whole chapter 8 is talking about attaining the Supreme. And we've just did the text 20. Text, I'll read the translation again. Yet there is another nature which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. So, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, superior and inferior nature are explained in the 7th chapter. So I'm just briefly about what 7th chapter, I'll just read few texts of the 7th chapter. So chapter 7, text 6, it says, all created beings have their source in these two natures. Of all that is material and all that is spiritual in this world, know for certain that I am both the origin and the dissolution. So Prabhupada here is explained in translation, and Krishna says in this text that whatever is created of material and the spiritual world, you know for certain that he is origin and the dissolution of both. So this relates to this text as well, that it is annihilated and unannihilated. So it's ever-changing world. The second text is 7:13. It says, deluded by three modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance, the whole world does not know me, who am above the modes and inexhaustible. So he is above all three modes. He is transcendental. So Krishna is transcendental. So there is that spiritual world. And finally, 7:14, which is a very popular verse, I'll just recite it as well. Devi hi esa gunamai mama maya duratyaya mama eva ye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. So that translation is this divine energy of mind consisting of the three modes of material nature is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. So the message from here is to cross over the three modes of material nature. And we'll continue with the last few things which Arjuna asked in chapter 7. So in the last two verses of chapter 7, Shri Krishna mentions the 6 highly technical terms. And chapter 8 starts out with Arjuna asking for clarification of those terms. So the questions were, what is Brahman? What is Adhyatma? What is Karma? What is Adibhuta? What is Adideva? Does Adideva refer to demigods or the universal form? So, and the other question, who is Adi Yagna, the Lord of Sacrifice? Is Adi Yagna Krishna or demigods? Where does Adi Yagna preside? So the answers for those questions were on the initial chapter 8, which was talking about from 8.1 to 8.4. So the first question was about Brahman. And Krishna says Brahman is indestructible, living entity. So he's not destructible. Second, Adhyatma. So Adhyatma is the living entity's nature. Third question was Karma. So what is Karma? Karma is the reaction that forces living entity to take material body in this world. Fourth was Adibhuta. Adibhuta is ever-changing material nature. Then Adidaiva is he who presides over all the demigods and their planets, the universal form of the Lord. Then sixth was Adi Yagna. So Adi Yagna says Krishna is the super soul, the Lord of all sacrifices. Adi Yagna presides within everyone's heart, similar to Paramatma. So that's brief about what was in 8.1 to 8.4. So I'm just taking through the summary of this whole chapter, and I'll come to 8.20. So 8.5 to 8.8 in this chapter is talking about remembering Krishna. Through sadhana, it is important to develop attachment to Krishna in this life. The most effective way to fixing the mind on Krishna is Harinam Sankirtana. So we all know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and he said 500 years ago and said there is no other way apart from chanting the Harinam. So Harinam, Harinam, Harinam eva kevalam kalau nasteva katiranyata. So say that is the most effective way in this age of Kali. Then going on to 8.9 to 13 in this chapter, that is talking about going back to Godhead by remembering Krishna. Because the rigid yoga practice of Vedic times are not possible for the people of this age. So bhakti is the most effective means of purification. So chanting of the holy names can be done by anyone and anywhere. So we have heard you can chant the names of the Lord anywhere, yeah, by anyone. So whoever it is, regardless of race, color, whatever we talk about in the scripture, anyone can chant the holy name. So that is 8.9 to 13, which is talking about going back to Godhead by remembering Krishna. So 8.14 to 16, Krishna describes the pure devotional service and the nature of spiritual world. That one who attains by practicing pure devotional service, of all people, pure devotee is truly desireless. So we need to be a pure devotee of the Lord. So, and we don't have to have a desire, that is going beyond the mode of goodness. So we have got three modes, and going beyond the mode of goodness, that means you don't desire anything. So it's a selfless. Yeah, all you know is your love to Krishna. Yeah, love to Krishna. So that's the main thing. Love to Krishna is desireless. So you don't ask for anything to Krishna, just pure love. So karmi desires sense gratification, the yogi desires mystic abilities, and the gnani desires release from material misery. So that's 8.14 to 8.16. Now coming into this batch of the verses, 8.17 to 8.22, which is about comparing the material and spiritual worlds. That is what's in here. So material world is continually created and destroyed. It is ever changing. Yeah? So similar to material world, our body is ever changing. So if I have to ask a question, why do we think our body is ever changing? So can anyone give me an answer? Why do you think our body is ever changing? It's temporary. Yeah, it is temporary. But why is it? You know, it's you don't know. You know, we were born, and after you're born, you grow old, and you grow older. You know, school age. Then you grow even older. After that, you get married. then you go old age, you haven't got, so our body is continually changing. But what is remaining stable? Our soul. The soul is remaining stable. The reason the soul is remaining stable, because it's never changing. Soul remains the same. Yeah? We've seen in chapter 2, Dehinosmin yatha dehe Kaumaram yovanam jara tata dehantra praptir dhiras tatrana muyate. Yeah? So we go through different changes, but somebody who knows this, is actually knows that we are soul, not this body. So beyond this ocean of creation and destruction lies Krishna's abode, where he is present and can be attained by unalloyed devotion to him. So we're coming to this verse 8.20. I'll read the translation again. Yet there is another unmanifest nature which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. So we know this material world is very much limited. The duration of this material world is limited to one kalpa, just one kalpa, which is equal to 1,000 yuga cycles. So we know the cycles of yuga. We've got 4 yugas, Satyugas, and then Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga has got 432,000 years. Then we've got Dwapar Yuga, 864,000 years. Then we've got Treta Yuga, which is 1.296 million years. And then we've got Satya Yuga, which has got 1.728 million years. So that is actually one day of Brahma, and the night is equal to that. And overall, Brahma lives 311 trillion 40 billion years. That's Brahma. That's how much he lives. Yeah? That's Brahma's life. So it is a long life, but we don't want to go there because that is still in the material world, and you can't get away from birth, old age, disease, and death. Or birth and death is definitely there. Yeah. So parastasmatu bhava. So bhava means nature. Para means superior. So there is another superior nature, avyakta, avyaktat, sanatana. Vyakta means that you see manifested. Like in night, we see stars twinkling. So this is manifested. And beyond manifestation, there is covering of the universe. And beyond avyakta is another spiritual nature. So beyond avyakta, there is spiritual nature. So here Krishna is pointing out that nature, parastasmat tu bhavonyo vyakto vyaktat sanatana. Sanatan means eternal. So the material nature has the beginning and end as well. But the spiritual nature, it has no beginning and no end. So in spiritual nature is always there. It's not changing. So that's about spiritual nature and the material nature. So I was listening to Prabhupada's lecture, and he was giving an example of clouds. He says clouds are insignificant part of the sky, and the clouds cover us. But the covering is only an insignificant part of the sky, whole sky. So we can see the clouds here, but when we say it's cloudy, but somewhere else it's sunny. But we can only see whatever we can see now. We can see the part is cloudy. But so because we are very minute, if the sky is covered few hundred miles only, say from here to Leicester, with clouds. So we think everything is covered. Yeah. Similarly, this material sky is within the covering of Mahat Tattva. And when clouds are cleared, you can see the original sky. So when this covering of matter is cleared, when the covering of the matter within us, we think we are soul, you will see the spiritual sky. So Krishna says, beyond this cloud-like material nature, there is another superior nature, which is Sanatana, eternal. If it has no beginning and no end. And when the material manifestation is annihilated, that will remain. So the spiritual part will remain. Just as the clouds are vanquished and the sky remains. So the spiritual sky will remain. Yeah? Similarly, the spiritual sky will remain when the material covering of the spiritual sky is vanquished. Okay, so that was Prabhupada's example. He was just giving an example of the cloud and what we can see, and we sometimes make our own imagination. So we cannot actually calculate the length and breadth of this universe. So universe is so large. There are millions and millions of universes, like within this material world. And above this material world covering is another sky, which is called the spiritual sky. And in that sky, the planets are eternal. And life there is also eternal. So there is no birth, old age, disease, and death in there. So it's eternal. Just to quote again, Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 10.8, he says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. So he says, I am the source of spiritual and material world. Everything emanates from me. The wise who knows this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So again, this repeated from the earlier about the most Devi Yasa Gunamai. And here Krishna says, everything emanates from me, both material and spiritual. And whoever engages in devotional service and worship me with all their hearts, they are the wise ones. And also in 10.42, he says, Atava bahu naitena kim naneta tavarjuna vishabhyaham idam krishtam ekam shena stito jagat. So when he says ekam sa, means 1/4. So the material manifestation is 1/4, and 3/4 is spiritual sky. So the material manifestation is 1/4, and 3/4 is spiritual sky. So what need is there, Arjuna, he says in that, for all this detailed knowledge, with a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support the entire universe. So that is Krishna speaking about this. So again, when I was talking about the body and the spirit, so matter and the spirit. Our body is matter and soul is eternal. So we know from the slok 15.7, Mama Ivamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Yeah? Manasastani Indriyani Prakriti Stani Karsati. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind. So in this material nature, everything is annihilated. Just as your body was produced produced at certain date by the father and mother, it will be finished at certain date. So whole cosmic manifestation consisting of innumerable universes has been produced at a certain date and will be finished at a certain time. So whole material, there is no matter up to the Satya Loka. So there is 7 upper planets, 7 lower planets, and we are in a blue planet. So all up to Satya Loka will be annihilated. All the planets up to Patala will be annihilated as well. So everything will be annihilated. So all material planets will be annihilated. So as we know from the sloka in this chapter, text 16, we came to text 16 or 8:16, and it says, "A Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punar Avartino Arjuna Mam Upetya tu Konteya Punar Janma na Vidyate." From the highest planet in this material world down to the lowest planets, all are places of misery, whereas repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. So that is the guarantee Krishna is giving, that once you go to that abode, you never take birth again. Okay? And we have known from the duration of the material world is only limited to 1 kalpa, which is equal to 1000 yuga cycle. So Shreya, you know how many yuga? If I ask you, Satya Yuga, how many years is it? No, 1.728 million. Yeah. Treta Yuga, 1.296 million. Dwapar Yuga, 864,000 years. And this Yuga, Kali Yuga, that's easy one, 432,000 years. Yeah. So one life of Brahma is 100 years of Brahma, which is 311 trillion and 40 billion years. So that is life of Brahma. So Brahma's lifespan actually, compared to eternity, is like a lightning flash. So if you think about Brahma's, we think Brahma's 311 trillion years and 40 billion years is like a lightning flash. You know, if you think about the spiritual God, they think of Brahma's lifespan. So casual ocean has innumerable Brahma, like bubbles in the Atlantic. You know? So Brahma's story, which was given by Radhanath Swami, he said Brahma went to Dwarka. He went to Dwarka to see Krishna. And Krishna said to Brahma, he said, a servant said, there is Brahma here. So he said, which Brahma is it? He says, Brahma said, are there any other more Brahmas here? And then he said, can you call all the Brahmas here? So the servant called all the Brahmas. So the Brahma, one Brahma, our Brahma, one Brahma with 8 heads. And other Brahma with 100 heads. And then other one was with 1,000 heads. And so Brahma was bemused by this. He says, so many Brahmas? I thought I was the only one. So that's how, if Brahma is so much insignificant, yeah, if we see a Satya Loka, Brahma is so insignificant. We think about us, how insignificant we are, yeah. So when we talk about Brahma, when he thought of himself, I'm nothing compared to this. So he's insignificant. So we have to think about us and how much we should be thinking of ourselves. Like we say, Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtanaya Sadahari. So we should think of ourselves as a blade of grass, and we should be always humble. Yeah? So then Krishna, as I said, Brahma realized how insignificant he was. And so just a few notes on annihilation of Brahma's night. All living entities remain compact. So in one night of Brahma, all living entities remain compact in the body of Vishnu. And they again manifest at the arrival of day. So that during the one there is mini annihilation is done. And after the next day, when the night comes and the day comes, everyone is manifested again. So at the end of Brahma's life, all living entities remain unmanifest for millions of years, and again to be manifest in another millennium. So we need to recognize that there is another nature beyond this nature. So we need to engage in the loving devotional service. There is nothing else we can do, because apart from just love Krishna. So we need to do bhakti. Like one of the slok is in chapter 18, Man mana bhava mad bhakto mad yaji mam namaskaru mam evyashi satyam te pratijane priyosime. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me and offer homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. So I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. So there's nothing hard in it. There's nothing hard in it. All you have to do, just think of him, become his devotee, worship him, offer homage unto him. So you go to him without fail, and he's promising you that he will be his very dear friend. Yeah? So Krishna gives bhakti. Krishna says, the one who can become servant of the servants. This was Radhanath Swami again. So Krishna gives bhakti to those people who always think that I am a servant of a servant. So we need to be eager for the devotional service. So I will end here, and I hope you enjoyed the class, and if you've got any comments, any questions, I'll try to answer them. Any questions?
How do you control mind?
How do you control mind? Arjuna also said that in a sixth chapter, the mind is very difficult to control. It is like a wind. But for me, my mind is like a same thing. How do you control it? We all are facing the same problem. So personally, when I think of Krishna, so by chanting regularly every day, your sadhana must be pakka. So if your sadhana is pakka, and your mind won't waver to the outside thing. The key thing why mind wavers is because we have desires. So usually desires cause our mind to waver. So if you control your senses, if you have desireless, then there is a chances that the mind won't waver. So it's basically is to control our senses, I would say, and chanting. But yeah, as I said, man mana ma madabhava bhakto madhyaji mam namaskaru mam avyashi satyam te.
Yeah, understood that. So going back one step further, so what is mind? I should have asked you that first. But now you have told me how to control mind. I understand that.
So mind, so our body is covered by elements, different elements, yeah? And mind, intelligence and false ego are the subtle part of our body. So that is more subtler, and that always remains with us. When when we take the next body. So our mind is so much powerful that when we take another body, that subtler part remains, in our next body. So the reason we are practicing, I think 8.5 or 8.6 here in Bhagavad Gita, it talks about antakale chamameva, smaran muktvam kalevaram. So it's a practice. Practice every day, every single day you practice Krishna consciousness. And then antakale chamameva, that will come. That to remember Krishna, you practice every day. Otherwise, the mind can cheat you. So mind is a subtle part of our body. Yeah, it's the including the mind. Yeah, like the indriyanis, prakriti. So it's very difficult to control the mind.
Thank you. Last one. What is the function of mind?
What is the function of the mind? Function of mind is, to me, I don't know where they are. To my knowledge, function of the mind is to think. Yeah, and also it is also controlling by our thinking or whatever we are seeing. It functions through our thinking. Like if my mind is saying, this Krishna looks beautiful. Yeah, if I say that, so my mind is perceiving that thought. So I'm thinking Krishna is beautiful. So my mind, if is thinking Krishna is beautiful, that my eyes will think about looking there. If my mind is thinking about some other thing, yeah, which is not necessary. For instance, if I think, oh, this woman is beautiful, yeah, and my mind goes that way. So my eyes, my sense perception, my eyes will look at that. So the thought process which is in my mind is it comes out to my senses as well. Anyone has got any suggestions? Thinking, willing, and feeling. So Shreya says thinking, willing, and feeling. But that's what I think.
Thinking, willing,
and feeling.
So what this we are told that Krishna is the ultimate enjoyer. Why and when does mind start to think that they are the enjoyer?
When does the mind start thinking?
Yeah, that because it's anchoring over sense gratification. But we know ultimately everything is only Krishna is the one who is enjoyer. Yes, we know about that.
Yeah. So Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. When do we start thinking that we are the enjoyer? I think that is within all of us. If you think about 99.9% of the people in this, whole thing, I don't know whether it is that 0.1% are the people who are thinking Krishna is the supreme. He is the supreme enjoyer. But everyone, once you are born, when you get attached to the material world, the modes which you bring up, they play a big part. Our subtler part of the body from the previous lifetime, it plays a big part. So as soon as you are born, probably when you are in the stomach, they say, please release me. I'll be chanting your names. I'll be doing lots of bhakti, and you release me from this because it's so miserable. When this is what I read in a shastra, it's so miserable. But as soon as the baby comes out and they see, the Maya Shakti, which is within this material universe, then it starts playing up. You always think you are the enjoyer because you are spoiled. First of all, whenever you need food, you're getting food. Whenever you need sweet, you are getting sweet, and so on. Once you grow up, that material thing keeps on coming. Then it comes to earning money after a while, going to school, you want to become fast, everything, you want to compete with another child, and so on. So when you grow old, you're not, my kids are better than the other kids. So it always, comes up. Do you think you are you are better than the other person? So, yeah, it's always there. And we are all trying to practice Prabhu.
Thank you.
Any more questions? I think I'm past 8 now, so... Okay. Vishaka, you've got questions? No? Okay. Thank you. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.